inside of a repeating cycle built on one woman's guilt and pain. And if I'm right about this, at least one of these three characters is dead. So wakey wakey gang, it's theory time, just theory time, you'll see. For the first 4 episodes of the show, things proceed normally, or at least as normally as they can for the world of DHMIS. Our 3 characters start each day in some mundane way before eventually being joined by the Teacher of the Week, an anthropomorphized object that's there to share some twisted lessons about topics ranging from jobs to death to electricity. Oh sure, there's some weird bits mixed in there, like Yellow Guy's dad Roy viciously ripping apart a creepy family, or Duck killing off his own doppelganger, but nothing that out of the ordinary. But then comes episode 5, where we see the reality of the show starting to fray. In this episode, our main characters are confronted by an old living train, basically the nursing home equivalent of Thomas the Tank Engine. Thomas the hover-around engine? Anyway, at one point the teacher turns into a car and then promptly dies. So our heroic trio does the reasonable thing and hops into his rotting carcass to take a road trip. And it works. Not only do they manage to drive past the desiccated remains of their original TV pilot.
I'm sorry, that place doesn't exist anymore.
What? What happened to it?
Just shriveled up, I reckon.
They manage to drive so far that they break through what appears to be a simulation. They leave their cartoonish world behind only to end up in a realistic dystopian. The first and foremost being who or what is Leslie. She's the only human character that we meet throughout all of DHMIS, which in and of itself is odd. Her design is also noteworthy. She's a bizarre mix of puppet and flesh. She's clearly a human, but her coat makes her look like one giant Muppet that's covered in fur, and her face has been stitched and scarred like a creature that's been sewn together. More importantly than her design though, she acts like the puppeteer for this world. She's the one that's turning the crank at the start of every episode. She also appears to be controlling the actions of all the others through her miniature figurines. And when one of the dolls breaks, she has a drawer full of replacements.
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry, I always make sure that I have plenty of backups.
Well, I suspect that I know what's going on here, and it all begins with one key line. As Leslie sends the Yellow Guy on his way, he asks whether he can stay on the top floor with her. She immediately rejects the idea by shouting, "You're not my real son!"
Only joking.
Taking Leslie at her word here, Yellow Guy isn't her real son, but he's close. You see, I suspect that Yellow Guy represents Leslie's real son. A real son named David. A son who died. The tragic twist of the tale is that we know exactly what killed David. He died in a car crash. In episode 5, when Red Guy tells Yellow Guy that they're gonna be part of a community, Yellow Guy fantasizes about living in a new city named Mulhoven. He imagines joining a neighborhood, befriending the people of the town. Yellow Guy then moves into a new home where Red Guy's his neighbor and Duck is his pet. Everything is great until a clergyman offers Yellow Guy a bird as a welcome present. The bird flies away and Yellow Guy gives chase into the street. From there, you can guess the rest. Yellow Guy is hit by a car. I suspect that dream sequence may be more true to life than we initially expect. Listen to the narrator of that little story.
Morning. Here in Mulhoven, Newtown.
It's Leslie's voice.
You've got plenty of reading to do.
In fact, it's Leslie screaming for Yellow Guy to get out of the street.
Oh, careful. Careful now!
And the reason she's screaming? Because she's the one in the car. Leslie killed her own son, David.
Excuse me, hello? Do you speak English? I'm a street photographer. I'd like to take some photos.